So Novak Djokovic, he did it again. He did the thing again. 2 sets to love down in the Wimbledon quarterfinals, and somehow it felt like it really was never in doubt. We've seen it time and time again over the last couple of years. Novak Djokovic back to the wall, and he's almost a lock to play his best tennis. And really, ever since that 2020 Aussie Open final against Dominic Thiem, I have really grown to expect these comebacks when he gets into a hole like this. And let me tell you right now, that is not normal. That should not be the case. You look at, so many of Djokovic's landmark wins over the last couple of years, it seems like he's come back from 2 sets down plenty, but in the grand scheme of things, 7 career 2 sets to love comebacks, that's really not all that much as far as the big picture of Novak Djokovic's storied, lengthy career. So it goes to show, even for him, it's a difficult thing to do. Now, obviously, he hasn't fallen behind 2 sets to love all that much, but it really should not be to a point where we're numbed to, okay, he's down 2 sets to love, no problem. You almost consider him a favorite to win these matches when he's down 2 sets to pretty much anybody not named Nadal at this point. We've really seen it time after time over the last couple of years where Djokovic will go on a bit of a walkabout for a set, maybe even 2, and then, once he's down, it's a completely different player, and that certainly was the case here today. Totally just outclassed Jannik Sinner today over the last 3 sets. Keeps his streak going of having never lost a match on Wimbledon's center court since the 2013 Wimbledon final. And for a short 5 to 10 minute window there, it looked like maybe that streak was on the ropes here, but no. Certainly you expected Novak to start playing better, loosen up after going down 2 sets to love, and he delivered and did exactly that. Nothing a small pep talk with himself can't fix after that break following the commencing of the second set. Now, as for Jannik Sinner's part, brilliant opening 2 sets, especially after Novak had come out hot early in the first. Regrouped brilliantly and was able to steal that set away. He was then even better in the second and really seemed to be one-upping a performance that I would call the best of his career to this point against Carlos Alcaraz in the fourth match and the match prior. And, I'm sure that people are going to bring up how a lot of these young guys have several times over the last couple of years been knocking on the door, had Nadal or Djokovic in particular backed into a corner, and one way or the other pretty much be incapable of delivering the final blows. And certainly that is a thing. I mean, I voiced my frustrations with that last year following the semifinals against Shapovalov, and to be clear, both Nadal and Djokovic have really benefited, give or take, about evenly from basically their aura more than playing well in these instances, getting them out against opponents that are seemingly incapable of making it to the finish line. And while I do acknowledge that that is a thing, you just gotta give credit to the other side of the net as well for applying the type of pressure to make you feel it with the finish line in sight. At the same time, it would be very easy for, either of them to mail it in pretty much at times on days where it seems like they don't have it, and neither of them ever give in. And as a result, I think that both have reaped the rewards of that. That just is what it is until proven otherwise. But in this particular case, as I get into this match in particular, I don't really think that you can fault Jannik Sinner all that much. Did I expect him to put up better resistance in at least one of those final 3 sets? Yes. But I really do think that at the end of the day, Novak Djokovic just went to a place that Sinner at this point is incapable of going to. And if you remember, I had Jannik going out early at this Wimbledon. I could have totally seen him going out first round, and he definitely overshot a lot of people's expectations, including mine. Trajectory-wise, I still think that this result will put him in a good direction. Shouldn't be all that much scar tissue. When he's been able to play this year, he has been excellent. He has been top 10 caliber. It just doesn't reflect that, considering just all the injuries he has suffered this year, and a lot of them in really tough spots, timing-wise. But when he's been able to play, he has been excellent, and all in all, I would say that this result is more, good Djokovic than bad Sinner. Really weird progression in this match. Novak, as I mentioned earlier, came out so hot, looked like he was about to steamroll the opening set. I didn't make quarterfinal picks at this point. I will for the next two matches tomorrow. But for the record, I did think Djokovic was going to take this in tight straights. I think that over the course of this tournament, Djokovic, after the first round, has been very sharp. I would say he has played his best Wimbledon since 2018. I think that his play this tournament has been better than it was in 2019, as well as 2021. And I really was liking my pick early on. Djokovic stormed to a 4-1 lead, was a point away from 5-1 and serving for a breadstick opening set. When he didn't get that double break, really just played an atrocious game, serving at 4-2. A couple of missed drop shots, if I remember correctly. Either missed or they floated up too high and gave Sinner some pretty easy putaways. And, honestly, that's something we've seen from Djokovic plenty. He does have the tendency at times to fall in love with his dropper too much, and if he's not hitting it well or it sits up with too much air, it really has hurt him at times more than what is considered to be really his biggest weakness with his overheads. And after giving up that break, I think that Novak really was very tight for the remainder of the first set. Sinner, to his credit, was serving fantastic. Pace not that overwhelming considering his height, but the spot serving was absolutely immaculate, and it really got him out of some tough spots where the pressure could have been on, having to serve to stay in the set, I believe, at 4-5, and then helped him get out of what could have been, a sticky serving game, having to serve out the opening set, especially when you consider how Sinner has fared against, the very top tier of the game with top 5 opponents, as well as in the past unable to serve out Nadal in the opening set in their quarterfinal back in Paris in 2020. Ultimately, though, the serve did come through, and it allowed him to play with even more freedom into the second set, where he really was seeing the ball like a basketball, pretty much. Chris Fowler said it on the ESPN broadcast, and that was a great way of putting it, because even on good Djokovic first serves, he was just reading the serve so well, putting a lot of returns in play with great depth. I believe he ended up breaking early in the second off of a return that kissed the back of the baseline. Really earned that lead early in the second set. But then from that point, I think Djokovic really kind of mailed in the second set. And from that point also, a lot of comparisons started drawing between this match and the 2021 French Open final against Tsitsipas, where similarly he had his chances to take the opening set. And once he got down early in the second, he really did not give that set much heed as far as trying to really win it. We've seen the story too many times at this point, though. You just knew that Novak was going to turn it up after dropping that second set. And yeah, as I said earlier, completely different player to finish this match over the last 3 sets. For his part, was also pretty much untouchable on serve, it seemed like, over the last 3 sets of this match, especially when he made a first serve. All of that really seemed to open up the rest of his game very nicely. Totally became watertight, hit that trademark Djokovic lockdown mode where he just was not making errors. Sinner really was just finding no way through him, and I think Sinner also, the serving performance kind of dipped over the latter stage of this match, wasn't getting as many free points, not even close. And that really ended up being one of the key factors in him becoming a lot more errant as this match progressed. Early on in this match, it really did seem like Sinner was holding his own, more than so in the backhand-to-backhand exchanges, which is a rare sight as far as, how rock-solid the Djokovic backhand is, but that is, in my estimation, Sinner's best ground stroke, and it was doing just fine trading with these linear exchanges with Djokovic. And Novak, in my opinion, over the last 3 sets really recognized that, started junk balling that wing a lot more, threw in a lot of slices, really didn't let Jannik be all that proactive off that wing. And from that point, there really weren't that many options for Sinner, and it's not the first time you've seen someone be kind of overwhelmed by the inability to hit through Novak. And Sinner, I think, has a good, not great forehand, made it all the more difficult. That, in combination with the serve dropping off as well as the deficiency at net, that is a spot of real weakness for Sinner and something that he definitely can improve. It showed up against the speedy Alcaraz and again today against Novak. And then again, what are you going to do in the 5th when this guy is hitting winners from here on the dead run, open stance, sliding backhand? Just put that in the vault of career highlights for Novak Djokovic. That ball at 30-all, I believe, 4-2 in the 5th was pretty much the dagger, and it had me just openly laughing as I watched that shot because it was truly absurd. So Djokovic, moving on to the semifinals now, will be a heavy favorite against Cam Norrie to make the final again. Shout out Cam Norrie, by the way, finally ending his woes and slams, hadn't gotten past the 3rd round at this point, goes on to make the semifinals at home in front of a British crowd, so that's a tremendous result for him. But he will have his work cut out for him against Novak Djokovic, who I think will be better for it moving forward in this tournament, having worked so hard, coming back from 2-0 to win this match today in the quarterfinals. He stays alive in a tournament that I have outlined I think is going to be very important for him, and I think now he'll have the benefit of being battle-tested. And no doubt it is going to take a special performance to end this Djokovic streak at Wimbledon. Even having dropped 2 sets here, this is probably an encouraging performance for Novak and really shouldn't do anything at all to deter him being the favorite here to lift the title on Sunday. But that's all I got in this video. Apologies for not being as active with, all that went down at Wimbledon over the weekend. I would like to talk about that as well at some point. But anyways, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, it would be much appreciated if you could drop a like. Helps the video perform a lot better in YouTube's algorithm. And also subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Thank you again so much for watching, I appreciate it, and of course, I will see y'all in the next one.